Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's recipe, I'm just going to show you some crockpot chili. I make crockpot chili, and I'm sure you do too, all the time, in the winter especially. It's just nice. It's a really budget-friendly meal. You can stretch a pound of beef, or you can cut your pound of beef in half, because you're putting beans, tomatoes, and some seasonings in there as well. I serve mine with cheese and sour cream. You can have cornbread, you can do pasta, you can do rice, anything you want. But this is just my recipe. We'll go through it in a minute, but I just took some dried beans and I cooked them in my Instant Pot. You could certainly cook dried beans on the stovetop if you don't have an Instant Pot. But I do. I've had an Instant Pot since they first came out, basically. So this is just a really budget-friendly meal, super easy way to make chili. I really like to use a chili seasoning blend, which I'll show you. I have a hard time finding it in the store here, so a lot of times I just buy it on Amazon. It is available there. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so below. And let's get started. So the first thing I do is put a whole jalapeno in my Instant Pot. I soak these beans overnight, and then I just put some fresh water in the Instant Pot after I drain them with the beans. So I went ahead and put the beans in. Again, these sat overnight, and then I went ahead and filled it up with some, about 2 tablespoons of this broth or bouillon that I really like. It gives saltiness as well, so you don't need broth. And then I just go ahead and put filtered water in there, just about probably 1/4 to 1/2 inch over the beans. You don't need more than that, and you're going to use that cooking liquid to make the chili. And then I always put 1 bay leaf in there. That will just make it nice and savory. And then I went ahead and stirred that up and sealed it. And then I went ahead and set my Instant Pot to the chili bean setting. That is about 30 minutes. The hardest part is getting the Instant Pot lid on, as many of you know that have these. Make sure it's not venting. Set the chili button, and then you'll have some beans in about 30 minutes. And here's what they look like after they've been cooking. We're going to use that liquid to make our chili. That's kind of like your broth when you're making it, and you can leave that jalapeno in there. It will break apart, and it seasons the chili and makes it spicy. You can of course leave that out if you don't like spicy chili, but I love spicy things. If you haven't figured that out yet, I do like jalapenos. So then I went ahead and browned a pound of ground beef up in my pot. I like to brown my beef before I put it in my crock pot. It gives a better flavor. And then I went ahead and added a half of a red bell pepper, half of a green bell pepper, and half of a white onion that I'm going to put in the pot. That white onion I had was huge, so it was probably like 1 medium size onion. And then I went ahead and cooked that down with the ground beef for a little while. I just like to develop the flavors. And this is that seasoning I was talking about. It's really good. It has a little bit of, as you can see, cocoa powder in it. I just think it gives such a nice flavor to chili. I put about 2 tablespoons in here, and some salt and some pepper. And then I mix that all up and let it cook just for a couple of minutes, about 2 minutes, just to develop the flavors. I want the chili to have a really nice flavor, and cooking it in the crock pot doesn't mean I have to sacrifice that flavor. So I added 2 cans of diced tomatoes. You could add diced tomatoes with chilies or peppers or garlic or whatever you want. And I put the contents of my Dutch oven there into the crock pot with the cooking liquid, the beans, the jalapeno. And then of course I had to add another jalapeno, dunk, and it goes in there with the rest of my ingredients. And then I'm going to give that a really good stir. I'm going to put about another tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of chili powder into the crock pot with the tomatoes. I'm not going to add salt because I added all of that bouillon. I don't want it to be too salty, so you can salt if you don't use the bouillon, if you just use water, or if you use just broth. Just test your seasonings. Here I am adding that additional about 2 tablespoons of chili powder, or chili seasoning blend is what it really is. And then I always add about a tablespoon of honey to my chili because I think it takes the acid out of the tomatoes and it just gives it a really nice overall flavor. If you don't have honey, you could put maple syrup, you could put a tablespoon of sugar. You can leave it out if you don't want that, but your tomatoes will have a little bit of acid from the can, so I like to put it in there. It's barely noticeable. Your chili just tastes better with it. I went ahead and put the temperature on low for 6 hours, and we're going to cook it and let it do its thing. So currently in Denver at 5 o'clock on Friday. This is the temperature. So it's a little bit cold out there. Now, thankfully, I have our chili. About 30 minutes. Let's take a look. It's been in here about 5.5 hours. Oh yeah, it's bubbling away. So I'm gonna add this can of corn. I like corn in my chili. Give it a stir, put the corn in, cook it about another hour, and then it's time for dinner. And this is the final product, as you can see. Nice and thick. This is the consistency that we like chili. And I just put it in a bowl. I had some shredded cheese left over I was trying to get rid of. And I like to put a dollop of sour cream. I only use Daisy. Daisy doesn't sponsor me, but Daisy is the best sour cream in my opinion. So I put it in there. It was delicious, healthy meal, and really budget friendly. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, please subscribe below if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video.